Everyone, and welcome to the second annual virtual career fair hosted by the UNM Alumni Association. We're happy to have you all here and excited to showcase some really great STEM employers that are hiring right here in our home state in New Mexico. And so I'm going to begin by introducing the UNM Alumni Association President, Mike Silva. Mike?
Good morning, everyone.
Let me stop my screen share real quick. I'm sorry.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome from the UNM Alumni Association to our virtual career fair. Special thanks to all of you for attending today, and to STEM Boomerang, Monica and Maggie, for all their hard work in putting this event together. Thank you both. Thank you all. This fair is a big part of our new career initiative. The first one was held last year this time with such success that we felt it important to put it on again this year. Our goal is to provide employment opportunities for our graduating UNM students and our UNM alumni throughout the country. We want to support our alums who want to move back to New Mexico and our alums who want to stay in New Mexico. Also, special recognition to our students who will be graduating next month and who are joining us here today. We hope we can keep you here in New Mexico. We want to support your efforts as you begin your careers. As part of our career initiative outreach to students, we are organizing whistle-stop tours at UNM schools and colleges, bringing alums who graduated back to talk with students and provide career knowledge and advice. Our next whistle-stop tour is the College of Arts and Sciences. It'll be on Tuesday of next week with pizza and soft drinks. More details can be found on our website. As a graduate of UNM, you are automatically a member of the Alumni Association. There are no dues or fees to be a member. It is a service to you as a local grad. There are many ways you can stay connected to the Alumni Association. The association has 15 regional chapters and groups from East to West Coast and has 11 cultural and interest-based chapters. We invite you to join a chapter in your region, and if you live in Albuquerque, we have one here as well. Our groups are active in supporting students and the university. Fun events such as athletic watch parties and academic lectures and special events to celebrate your connection to UNM are available through the Alumni Association. Visit unmalumni.com for group details. While you're there, be sure to register using our Alumni Connect so you can get our monthly newsletter, The Howler, which will keep you up to date on all association happenings. It's a pleasure to greet and welcome you this morning. Please enjoy the career fair. Stay connected to the Alumni Association. Back to you, Monica.
Thank you, Mike. And you forgot to mention to make sure you taste the wonderful cookies at Rude Boy Cookies.
Thank you for that. It was we're having a virtual cookie for breakfast.
Yes, we love Rude Boy Cookies. Thank you. Yes, the UNM Alumni Association has lots of things going on. Make sure to sign up for their newsletter that comes monthly. Like Mike had mentioned, you get information on all their great events, and we strongly suggest that you sign up for that and really stay informed. So I would like to just kind of introduce Boomerang New Mexico. Many of you here on the call have registered through our career portal, and so thank you for that. Our goal is to recruit and repatriate STEM professionals within New Mexico's innovative STEM job market. And so it's not always easy to navigate the job market here in the state, and so we want to help by creating a warm handshake between you and the employers. So we are always available at our on our website. You can message us at our email address, info@stemboomerang.org. And we also host monthly resume building workshops if you really need help getting your resume in order. And we also do one-on-one career coaching. So be sure to message us here on the chat or email us. We're always available and we're here for you. As a STEM professional, we know the struggles and challenges that you're facing in either finding a job or navigating the job market, and we want to make that as smooth as possible. So I would like to introduce Maggie. She is the founder of STEM Boomerang New Mexico, and she's going to talk a little bit more and intro us into the first session of employers.
Thanks, Monica. I just want to say welcome to everybody. And I retired from UNM a few years ago after 33 years as a biology professor, but I also worked in engineering and computer sciences and over in the med school and the cancer center. So I really had, and also with Sandia for 10 or 12 years. So I have had a wonderful career here in New Mexico. And that's our goal, is to help you guys find, you know, a really great solution to any concern you have about your future employment career, so that you have fun. So this is an interesting session. We have a lot of different options in terms of employers. We have really big companies that are doing a lot of engineering in the military industrial domain. We have our local startups that we love, that are so close to our heart, that where we know a lot of the people who are working there. And so there's a lot of options. And the first company that we're going to hear from is Amentum. And Amentum is a very large company. It's hiring some people in Albuquerque. A lot. Some of them I don't think require. I don't think they all require clearance, but it's a publicly traded stock, so it's a very large company, and they're hiring all sorts of engineers, machine learning engineers, programmers, system administrators, and project managers. And so we have Nisi Harmon here to talk about Amentum. So Nisi, can you take it away? Thanks. Nisi, are you having trouble?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Pardon? Do you want to come on later?
I think maybe your internet.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead, and this Sarah Magaletta is here. The three companies that we have that are local. Nisi, would you like to go? No, Sarah. Good. Let's do Sarah. I just saw your face.
Sorry, can you guys hear me now?
Is this Nisi?
Can you hear me? Yes, it's Nisi.
Okay, good. Let's go ahead with Amentum then. Thank you, Nisi.
Okay. I tried to call in to. Can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll see how stable it is.
Okay, sorry. I tried to call in to see if that would help, but for some reason, Zoom is not my friend. But are we sharing the slideshows today?
Yeah, Monica is, I don't know if you have video, but Monica is nodding.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and get my video going as well. Let's see. And I'll share my screen. Okay. Let me know when you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, looks good.
Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I feel like every time we do these calls, I have issues. Zoom doesn't like me. I'm better on Teams, I guess. But hi, everybody. Welcome to STEM's Boomerang Second Annual Career Fair. First, I want to thank Maggie and Monica for putting this together again. I actually joined last year and it was very fruitful. So I think that it's wonderful that we're running this show again. And of course, thank you, Mike, for helping us get set up. I'm actually a UNM alumni myself, so go Lobos. I'm signed up for the newsletter and I think that it actually is super beneficial. So I would encourage that everybody sign up for it as well. We're always getting updates via email and they are very informative. So I would recommend that everybody sign up for that. Today, I want to go ahead and tell you guys about Amentum. We are a very large organization. We are global. We primarily serve the military sector, also government. And so today I'll go through a couple of slides to kind of tell you a little bit more about us. Okay. All right. So a little bit about us. We are, like I said, global. So I've seen programs all the way from Hawaii to Maryland. And of course, outside of the continental US, and I've seen anything from the United Kingdom to Germany. I've seen a couple positions in Egypt and Australia. So we're really all over the place, which is great. Our program is local here to Albuquerque, though, and I'll get to that here in just a moment. But our primary focus is to provide contractors to defense, security, intelligence, and the energy sector. And then you'll see here on the slide as well that we are headquartered in Germantown, Maryland. So most of our programs are on the East Coast, and we are fairly new to New Mexico. Here's just a couple of quick facts. As you've seen, there's 50,000 plus professionals that we have. We recently had an acquisition of PAE, which is another federal contractor. So as far as the states and the countries and the annual revenue goes, I'm sure that the numbers are increased because this is not an accurate and updated report.
I'm sorry, Nancy, I'm sorry to interrupt.
But as you can see, we've won multiple awards.
I don't think everyone is being able to see your presentation, and I'm not quite sure why.
I can see it.
You're a co-host, but I don't think anyone else can. See, yeah, people are shaking their heads no, that they cannot see it. Which
That's weird. I
try sharing it.
It said it's in focus mode, which I'm not quite sure how to get it out of that. Oh, stop focus mode. Okay, can everyone see the presentation?
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Still no? Can't see it. Nope. Okay. Still not. Do you mind to stop sharing and resharing, Nisi?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Oh, Sam said he can see the video. Maybe.
Yeah, it'll be available now, I'm sure.
Okay, good. I'm so sorry about that.
No problem. I know at least it's not just me that has technical issues. I'm like, is it me? I'm so sorry. Okay, I've tried it again. Let's see if it works now. Oh, it says participants can now see your application.
Yay.
Oh, we got a thumbs up from Kevin and Michael. Yes.
There we
Hey,
go.
Michael, how are you? Awesome. Okay, perfect.
So go ahead. I just
okay.
You're fine.
So yeah, just a couple of fun facts there, quick facts, and some recognition that we have gained. And then here, you'll our name Momentum. It's only about 2 years old, but our roots date back all the way to the early 1900s. So here's just a couple of different names through. We've had a few different acquisitions. We branched off on our own. And actually our most recent kind of large branch off was from AECOM into Momentum. And so for us, we're in the business of people. So we're all about supporting people. If you see here that our company was named after Momentum, which is an ancient Greek device that attached to a javelin, empowering the user to hit with greater force and precision by enhancing the existing abilities of the thrower. So we see this kind of as our, our way of a metaphor to enhance the force to support the customers' missions as they move forward to achieve their goals. So of course, not only do we provide the contractors for the programs and missions, but we want to make sure to help them grow as well, not just to put, warm body in there per se, but we like to help grow things. Okay, and then here are just a couple of the various client groupings that we support. So you'll know that we typically support defense, civilian, Army, Air Force, Navy, DoD. We recently actually got a large contract with Homeland Security. So we have a lot of really great things going on. And next we'll discuss the program we're supporting here, which is the Department of Energy, Sandia National Laboratories. You may not have heard our name in the local community, and it's mostly because we are actually part of a larger contracting company called Encantado Technical Solutions. So they are called our prime, and there's 4 companies that provide contractors to this program. Momentum being one of them. So there's a couple of different layers, but I've kind of got you a few questions with individuals about this because it can get a little bit confusing. But I think there is also another subcontractor that you'll learn about here in just a little bit after my presentation. And of course, all of our roles, just to mention, are for IT specifically, and the program has 500 plus individuals supporting Sandia National Lab. So it's a pretty large program. And here I've just listed kind of a snapshot of the recent and current opportunities that we have and the skill sets that we're typically looking for. So you'll see on the list, we're looking for application engineers, Java programmers, DevOps engineers, automation, full stack. So we have a lot of different opportunities. You know, some of the skill sets we really look for and that are big right now are Linux, Windows, Python, Java. Those are just a few of them, but I figured it would be kind of helpful if you guys saw the skills. I'm sure a lot of you have learned these in your courses or maybe your professional experiences. And I will go to the last slide here. That is all that I have for you guys right now. That's basically in a nutshell. I know that we went over a lot of stuff, so if any of you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. But I'd love to connect with anybody that would like to learn more about us and what we do. So please feel free to take down my email address, connect with me on LinkedIn, and also I've provided my cell phone if you guys want to text me, call me, whatever works best for you. And I really thank you all for your time today, and I look forward to the question and answer portion of it here soon.
Thank you, Nisi. That's very helpful. And so if also any questions, you can write to us at info@stemboomerang.org so we can help with things. And anyway, so there will be a breakout session after this session that allows people to go in and meet with different companies and ask specific questions. The next company we have is one that we have known since it began, actually, I think. It's called Build with Robots, and Sarah Magaletta is here. So Build with Robots is really for Monica and me, it's much more than a company that builds robots, but it's really a community. And they really focus on keeping people safer. So if you know about Build with Robots, I'm sure Sarah will talk about this, but they have this Breezy One, which was I think their first big rollout, which has gone during the pandemic, really helped a lot of airports and arenas and the pit and schools and all sorts of things to have a safer environment. And they're looking for a bunch of engineers. And so Sarah, why don't you tell us more about Build with Robots?
Absolutely. Thank you for that intro, Maggie. And thank you, Maggie and Monica, of course, for hosting another wonderful career fair. And I will also just echo, thank you, Mike, and echo that Rude Boy cookies are the best. And yesterday, to incentivize, we're currently doing 360 surveys at BWR, and to incentivize everyone to complete their surveys, we did buy Rude Boy cookies that they were able to receive once they had completed them. So anyway, and they're delicious, and I probably ate more than I should have, but whatever. Okay, so as Maggie said, Build with Robots, we are a small local startup, and we actually began, Chris Zomek started the company in about 2017, but up until 2020 was very, very small, you know, perhaps 4 or 5 engineers. And again, like Maggie had mentioned, our goal is to make people's lives better, make workers' lives better. So, you know, sometimes people think of robots and they think, oh, you know, we're replacing people. That's not our goal. Our goal is to ease the jobs of workers whose roles may put them in dangerous positions, repetitive work. The perfect example exactly is Breezy One, our first product, where, you know, it was never the intention to replace the role of a janitor or their staff, but instead make their work easier. So exactly, the airport, which was our first customer, you know, their role changed, the janitorial staff there, their role changed from, instead of going around and having to wipe down every single armchair in the entire airport, it shifted to, you know, setting up the partitions and then, you know, kind of remote controlling Breezy. That's not a very technical term, but I think you all understand what I mean. So anyway, and I think as a result, you know, they kept their jobs, their work was less repetitive, more interesting, less arduous. So anyway, that's where we are. So about in 2020, so at the pandemic, we grew to about 12 people. And then since then, which I guess is 2 years now, time flies, we've doubled and there's 24 of us. We moved last summer into a new office space in downtown Albuquerque. It's a big modern sort of warehouse that there's a lot of, I don't think you can see the construction behind me, but there's a lot of construction with the new rail trail. It's a very exciting place to be, great time in Albuquerque. We do pride ourselves on hiring New Mexico-based talent. So we really, really try to do that. We believe in New Mexico. We believe in, community engagement, supporting other organizations. We try to partner, as Maggie mentioned, with schools, with our local airport, city, other city organizations. So first and foremost, we look for talent in New Mexico. And we've been very, very lucky to be able to find it. Currently, we have 2 remote employees, but that's, a very, very small percentage for the amount of people that we have. And we also, okay. Another priority I would say at Build with Robots is that, of course, we need everyone to have the appropriate technical skills for the job that we're doing, but we're also very open to, people that have a cultural fit. And I think that's something, especially today, in the pipeline, as Maggie mentioned, we do want to hire a system software engineer that will help with virtual deployments. And then also a sort of mid-career mechanical engineer that will help with designing our next product, which I can't talk about, but it's exciting. And also a couple of summer interns. But I say that, if you don't have the exact skill sets that are listed on our website, please apply anyway. We really care about just everyone being at a workplace that they enjoy, that they feel connected to each other. Again, technical skills are still important, but I just don't want you to be deterred. I think that it can be daunting seeing a list of 15 qualifications that you have to have. And again, you should have a majority of them, but don't let that stop you. So let's see. What else? Oh, I guess the one other thing that I will say is that given that we are still a very small startup, though we're growing quickly, the work here at Build with Robots you may have one job description and then you may have to help out in other areas, but that's just something, we're all really accustomed to. Again, there's still just 24 of us. So sometimes you have to, reach outside perhaps your exact job description and help out the rest of the team. But so far, the people that have joined us really enjoy that kind of team atmosphere. So, I just want to put that out there, that if that speaks to you, then please, reach out to me and we can talk about, what you're looking for. I do have one slide that I should share, or Monica, I could share it. Hold on, let me just, because it's a good, but I don't, share. Okay, sorry. Okay. This is very simple, but just for fun, just to close, I guess I'll say, again, our current and upcoming openings are robotic interns for the summer, which may or may not extend to fall as well. I think, again, as a growing startup, everything is very flexible all the time. The system software engineer that I had mentioned earlier. As we grow also, more robotics techs, field service, and then a senior mechanical engineer. And please feel free to contact me, HR@buildwithrobots. Really easy to remember. And again, any questions or concerns at all, our door is absolutely open.
Thank you, Sarah. There was a comment when you said about cultural fit, and I just want to say that the smaller startups, it's really important who they hire because it's a small group and people do have to work together, but they're not talking about excluding anybody based on any protected category or anything like that. These guys, I think, generally, you tell me if this is true, tend to be mountain bikers. You're going to be real happy to have that. So I think it's mostly the culture fit is like hey, you want to go for a ride? And I want to say also that these guys just won the New Mexico Fire Award, which is saying that they're innovators setting the New Mexico economy ablaze. And so I just, I really don't want you to hear words that anybody says, whether it's a big company or a small company, and think that it means not you. Okay. So thanks a lot, Sarah.
Thank you, Maggie.
The next company is Ubiquity, and I'm so glad to have them back with us. Ubiquity was at the first STEM boomerang that we had, and they work with quantum dots. And actually, their founder, I'm sorry, Hunter McDaniel, just was awarded a recognition for being one of the top 40 innovators in New Mexico under the age of 40. And so Matt Bergen will talk to us today about this. But quantum dots are so amazing. I've been working with a woman at Michigan State a little bit who's using quantum dots for virus and bacterial recognition. But they're used for all sorts of things. And I think you're going to love what they're doing up in Santa Fe with Ubiquity. So Matt, take it away.
Thanks, Maggie. And I'm going to share some slides as well. Can I get confirmation you guys can see the slides okay?
Yes.
Thank you, Monica. Hi, everybody. Great to see you this morning. Happy to be back for this virtual career fair. And similar to Build with Robots, we're a small business here in northern New Mexico. We're located in Los Alamos, actually, but on the same scale of number of employees. And so I wanted to just go through a little bit about our company and our technology and some of the open positions that we're going to be looking to hire here soon. So as Maggie mentioned, we're Ubiquity, which stands for Ubiquitous Quantum Dots. And our goal is to use these nanomaterials for innovation to make a lasting and positive impact on society. So our company is a spin out from Los Alamos National Lab. Hunter McDaniel, as Maggie mentioned, was a postdoc there and was working on the technology that we have licensed and spun out of the lab. We also have patent and licensing work with MIT, University of Washington, to enable the technologies we're developing with these quantum dots. We're 26 full-time employees. We have roughly $2.5 million in revenues and have raised about $8 million to date from investors. Our main bread and butter is manufacturing this particular piece of nanomaterial called quantum dots. And then we use those to enable new technologies. And today I'll be chatting briefly about two different market areas that we're putting these quantum dots to work, and that's in agriculture or food and in sustainable energy with solar windows. So what is a quantum dot? Quantum dots are small nanomaterials, so on the order of 10,000 times smaller than the width of your hair. And what these materials do really well is manipulating light. So they absorb certain colors of light and they emit them in another color. And so we use that ability to, as I mentioned before, develop new technologies. Our dots have a competitive advantage over other quantum dots you might see in the commercial market, which are typically going into displays. So Samsung have QLED TVs. Those have quantum dots in there to make very nice colors. Our dots are much safer, less expensive to manufacture, and more stable than those quantum dots. And so we think it's the first quantum dot that can be truly ubiquitous, go into big applications where you can touch and feel them. So these are some photos of different colors of quantum dots. We can tune that color just by the size of the material. And so we do that in our chemistry labs here in Los Alamos so that we can tune it for the application it goes into, such as UV grow, which is on the right there. So the first market that we have developed this nanomaterial for is in agriculture. Agriculture has a problem in lighting in that plants need light. It's the most important growth parameter. And we also know that the color of light is very important. However, most people are using energy intensive lighting to be able to achieve that. So that's LEDs or high pressure sodium bulbs, as you see in this greenhouse grow. It's really expensive to put in, so expensive to install, but also to operate. And so our solution is to bring the same kind of improvements you see with color and light with our quantum dot film that uses the sun instead of electricity. So intensity of light is important, but the quality or the color of light is very important. That's something we focus in on. Everything from how efficient photosynthesis for the plants to how it grows. You can make plants be smaller and squat or smaller leaves, or you can have them grow taller with larger leaves. You can have them induce fruit or flowering. You can do a lot with color. And so that's what we play in on with our technology, is modifying the solar spectrum to improve your crop in a greenhouse. So this is our solution. It's called UV Grow. It's a brand of agriculture products. It's essentially a plastic film you put inside of a greenhouse. We like to call it a layer of light. So it sits up underneath your roof of the greenhouse, but then above the plants. And so that sunlight can pass through it and get modified. So we have a more red spectrum to your plant. The value proposition for the material is that we get higher crop yields. So on average, we see about a 10% yield production increase. That can go upwards of 20% for some greenhouses. It kind of depends on where you're located and what technology you're already putting into your greenhouse. But it's a very sustainable approach to get more out of the square footage of your greenhouse. It also has a fast ROI, return on investment. So we're trying to get that to be within 1 year and improve crop quality. And as I mentioned, it's a sustainable way to improve yield as well. Next, I just wanted to briefly touch on our other exciting technology we're developing right now, which has been supported by the National Science Foundation. It was the technology we were actually working on at Los Alamos. It's also been backed by the Department of Energy and National Renewable Energy, and that's solar windows. So one of the big problems is that buildings are responsible for a lot of our energy consumption. Nearly 40% of our direct and indirect carbon emissions come from the built environment in urban areas. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of space for renewables. Typically, solar panels are put on rooftops. You don't have a lot of rooftop space. That's usually taken up by HVAC and maybe recreation areas. And furthermore, it's just not the same scale as the vertically built buildings. We also know that in cities, aesthetics are very important. You see this building here in Bangkok that has been manufactured to have this really unique look to it. And so architects and building owners, property developers will not compromise on aesthetics. And so if you're going to bring in renewable energy that's going to be attached to their building, it needs to look good, or it has to be something that's a drop into something that they can design. And as you might see in a lot of cities, glass is ubiquitous. We see glass on all these skyscrapers, and our mission is to turn that into energy production. And so we have a patented technology called a luminescent solar concentrator that essentially puts quantum dots between two sheets of glass on the front pane of your window that absorbs light, and then it will convert that light to a very specific color, which can then be guided to the edge of the window where solar cells, traditional solar cells, can harvest it for electricity. So in practice, it looks like this. This is actually a few photos of solar windows where we were installing up the road at a Holiday Inn hotel. And essentially, they don't look any different. They have a tint to them. Those are the quantum dots behind, but they can be installed by a traditional glazer and be, in the future, directly connected to the grid. Right now, we're using it for local power source to be able to power blinds or the Internet of Things near your window. But in the near future, we'll be putting these into skyscrapers and offsetting their energy demand. So this is a career fair. What are we looking for currently? I will say that we very often are hiring in the STEM field, whether it's a chemistry background, physics, materials, industrial design, engineering. We always have spots that we need to fill from the STEM field. But in the near term, we are looking for 2 roles that we'll be hiring for soon. These aren't open just yet, but will be coming up in the next few weeks. One is a product manager for UV Grow for our agriculture product. They'll be working on manufacturing and development, as well as design and strategic planning for these materials. And then we also are going to be looking to hire more chemists on the team. So they would be helping out manufacture this enabling material, the quantum dots, as well as doing research and development optimization. We like to hire the whole gamut of folks from their technical backgrounds, from having a bachelor's to PhD. And yeah, I inquire you to reach out to us in the breakout rooms, or you can send me an email. My name's Matt, up in the top right-hand corner, and I'd be more than happy to talk more about our company and positions we might have available for you.
Thanks, Matt. This is a really exciting time. And you guys are so people worry a little bit about quantum dots and getting into the environment and things like that. But it sounds to me like you guys are dealing with your process. It's sort of green all the way through. Do you think that's true? So they're encapsulated. We're not going to see them anywhere.
Yep, encapsulation is important, but also the material composition. So we've been doing cytotoxicity studies with Sandia and making sure that if they were to get out and get into waterways or anything like that, there wouldn't be any damage to the environment or to people. And so we have nice data there showing that our materials don't have any negative impact there. But
Great.
You're absolutely right. We do want to continue to have a circular economy as well. So recycling of materials and making sure that we have a good way to dispose of these is something that we
Very cool. Very cool. Good luck with all of this. It's wonderful to hear what you're doing.
Thanks.
Okay, Monica, thank you very much. Monica, did you want to talk about the survey?
Yeah, I'm gonna post up one quick little poll. So we'd love to know where you all are coming from. So the poll is up, just click on your answers. I'll just keep it up for a few seconds here as we get the answers in, and then we'll keep going. And also you can ask questions in the chat. So feel free to include any questions that you have for any of the company reps in the chat section, and Maggie or myself will ask. You can also, when we do the breakout rooms here coming up in the next 20 minutes, join each room individually. And you will be able to ask questions, unmute yourself, and have communication that way as well. All right, okay. I think we'll go ahead and end the poll here. The most are in New Mexico, and there are some that are out of state here in the US, none out of the country. I can share the results here.
Okay. Right. So the next company we have is represented by Melanie Welty, and it's Tricor. Hi, Melanie. It's a Tricor Roads Group. So Tricor started in Albuquerque in 1998. So I'm really surprised that it was so recent, because it seems like I've just heard about Tricor. It sort of started and was established and has become a relatively famous, very trusted reference laboratory for states surrounding New Mexico, and I'm sure all over the country. And just recently, they partnered with the Roads Group, which was an IT computer science group, to expand its laboratory capabilities to include IT and services that bring together software, clinical, financial, and operational capacity. So what they're ending up doing is being able to really look at and deal with the huge amounts of data that you guys are collecting as a result of Tricor. So Melanie, take it away.
Thank you so much. That's a great introduction to Tricor and Roads Group. And today we'll be talking about both companies. So Roads Group is a wholly owned subsidiary of Tricor. So first we'll touch on Tricor, and I just wanted to highlight an award that we were awarded this year. It's a 2022 Platinum Award for family-friendly business in New Mexico. So that's a recent award that we obtained, and we're very proud of it. We definitely demonstrate, that we are a family-friendly business by flexibility and in work schedules and just, managing a work-life balance with our employees. So that's a big highlight. I know it's kind of blurry. So let's talk a little bit about who Tricor is. Tricor performs over 11 million diagnostic tests per year. Our headquarters are in Albuquerque. We are at, it's called our Woodward location. It's on I-25 and Lomas area, right behind the Embassy Suites. So the majority of testing and the tests that happens are sent to our Woodward location for processing. We're New Mexico's largest medical laboratory. We're statewide, and we'll talk about some locations here in a little bit. So like I said, 98.6% of testing is performed at our headquarters, and we process over about 2,900 specialized tests. So that means, you know, the testing, say you guys your blood drawn and you're waiting for a result, we can result it at our lab in Albuquerque. It doesn't need to be, the majority of testing doesn't need to be sent outside of Albuquerque, like to Dallas or, you know, to another lab. So our tests are resulted rather quickly. Tricor has about 1,250 employees in a variety of positions. The majority of our positions are laboratory positions, but we do have other departments within the organization. We have a call center, we have a compliance department, we have, of course, human resources and quality, just a number of different areas, a warehouse, but the majority of our employees are laboratory workers. We also have draw sites throughout New Mexico. Chances are, if you go get your blood drawn, it's by a Tricor employee. We have, we're in draw sites and branch labs, and then in the hospitals, right? We manage the laboratories in the hospitals, Presbyterian, University Hospital, and Loveless. And then we are, you know, one of our perks is that we utilize the latest technology and highest quality instrumentation. So in fact, right now, not sure what the instrument is, but our headquarters are getting some real high quality instruments in that we're going to put into use. So we really stay on top of that to remain competitive in the laboratory industry and remain one of the top laboratories. So we are dedicated to improving the health of our communities, and with our vision, our values, and our mission is our employees and patient care. So patient care is at the core of our strategy. It's demonstrated very highly. It's at the forefront of what we do every day. Our patients are our most important people. Employees are our most important people, and we demonstrate that every day. So some laboratory careers with Tricor. We have clinical lab assistants, which are phlebotomists. We have lab assistants. Lab assistants process specimens that come in. We have laboratory technicians, clinical laboratory technologists, medical laboratory technician, medical laboratory scientists, and then supervisors, managers, and directors. So a lot of our supervisors, managers, directors have been with Tricor from, you know, maybe the beginning of their careers, started as phlebotomists or lab techs or laboratory or medical lab scientists. And then there is a wonderful path for career advancement at Tricor, and we have a number of leadership that has been with Tricor from the start of their career. So some of our positions do not require degrees, like the phlebotomist or the laboratory assistant. And then the other ones do require degrees: medical laboratory technician, medical laboratory scientist, clinical lab tech, and laboratory tech. So if you are in the field of obtaining your degree in either the medical laboratory science or medical lab tech, or biology, chemistry, biochemistry, we may have opportunities for you. So we have many locations in Albuquerque and then throughout New Mexico. We support labs in Socorro and Roswell, Las Cruces, Tucumcari, Clovis, Santa Fe, Espanola, Rio Rancho, and then other locations as well. So I'll talk about how to apply in a little bit, and you can filter by location. So we do have opportunities throughout the state. We're only in New Mexico. We are not outside of New Mexico. with the laboratory, but we do offer some remote positions now. So, you know, we do have employees throughout the country. All right, switching to Rhodes Group. Who is Rhodes Group? So Rhodes Group is our wholly owned facility. So Rhodes Group is a healthcare company that brings together our software, clinical, financial, and operational expertise to help TriCore succeed. So Rhodes Group was actually founded in 2000, and then TriCore acquired Rhodes Group in 2015. Rhodes Group has approximately 140 employees. These employees are on the software side, IT side, and then we have a business office that handles claims and imaging and billing and things like that. So Rhodes Group really revolutionizes the role of TriCore in healthcare. They provide innovative solutions to enhance patient care and patient experience. So for example, they own a software called Fusion, which scrubs claims and reduces the error rate on claims. They really are essential in optimizing our core lab business. And with their technology, they're helping us become the lab of tomorrow. So right now, some opportunities with Rhodes Group: network engineer, software engineer, IT application architect, desktop engineer, applications analyst. One of those has a preference for Sunquest, and then production support, which is like our help desk. And then with the business office, there's additional careers. So there are medical claims specialists, medical billing specialists, payment posting specialists, imaging specialists, and then client claims specialists with the business office. So some benefits that TriCore and Rhodes Group offer. TriCore and Rhodes Group, the benefits are across the board. There's not a difference between Rhodes Group and TriCore benefits, but we offer dental, vision, and medical insurance, a 401k plan, which you are 100% vested in immediately after you're eligible to participate. We have a very lucrative paid time off plan and 8 paid holidays per year, plus an additional holiday, which is a floating holiday. If you work certain hours, you may be eligible for shift differential and premium pay. So that could be anywhere from 10 to 20% more than your base rate of pay.
Melanie, I'm going to have to ask you to wrap it up. Thanks, because we're just so packed with people today.
No problem, no problem. So you can read these benefits. And then TriCore has a website, tricore.org careers. You can do opportunities there. And then rhodesgroup.com careers is for the Rhodes Group side, and you can view opportunities there. Here's their website. And then you can contact one of either me or our other corporate recruiter. His name is Rocky Cruz. And here's our information.
So Melanie, let me ask you a few questions really quickly. First of all, TriCore was one of the few companies in New Mexico that we knew about that was using a computer review for the first pass over applicants. Are you still doing that?
So we use a system no, I don't think so. So when you apply for a position, the system will put you in a folder, if you will, for managers to review resumes.
Okay.
So
okay, but
yeah,
it's not as critically important to have every keyword from the ad that you had that they're replying to. Okay, that's good. And also there was a question in the chat for people who don't have degrees. Do you provide training on the job for them? You do, right?
So it depends. So we do have tuition reimbursement, and tuition reimbursement, if you will, for programs that are related to your job. We do provide training, but some of the positions, the requirement is a degree. And so, you know, that it's
Right.
it's just required
Yeah.
for some, but for like
different
a
jobs.
lab assistant, yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Not all of our positions.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so I want to make sure I have the right name here. The next company is Leidos, and Josh Gilbreck will be with us. So Leidos is another publicly traded company. It's big and it's all over the place. And they have 40 years that they've worked with AFRL. So they're very, very close to AFRL. They have 43,000 employees around the world. And they're hiring all sorts of people, but they have 200 people who work here locally, and they do all the hiring for TSA. I didn't know that until I talked to Josh this morning, but they have everything from engineering support, microwaves, lasers, stuff, all kinds of lasers, and in addition, space vehicles. So Josh, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here. Like a number of the rest of you who have mentioned it, I'm also a UNM grad. So it's good to touch base with UNM again. I'm here locally. I'm actually a program manager for a number of programs out that exist on base. I work with the high power microwave department on base. And so I assist with managing some of the programs and do a whole bunch of technical work there. I'm going to start out by just talking a little bit about Leidos as a whole. I tend to call it Leidos Mothership. And then we'll kind of dive down and talk about the stuff that we do here in Albuquerque. As kind of was noted before, we're actually a very, very large company. Leidos is a Fortune 500 company. We've got about 43,000 employees right now. A pretty large number of those are graduate level employees, and a very large number of those employees work in cleared type environments. So you usually have a security clearance of some sort, whether it be a Department of Energy clearance or a Department of Defense clearance. We break the company up into 4 distinct kind of groups, and that's civil, health, intelligence, and defense. Civil, a lot of the work ends up being for a lot of the federal agencies. So like was mentioned earlier, we do a lot of the hiring, actually all of the hiring for TSA agents. We just got a contract to revamp the FAA's flight clearing software and work with them on kind of bringing that up to new levels of technological capability. We also exist within the health sector. We do a lot of work there in a variety of different organizations. Intelligence is one of those things where we work very closely with our national defense governmental agencies, where we provide people who do an analysis of incoming intelligence and such. Defense is the sector that I kind of exist in. It's mostly work for a lot of our DoD clients. So Department of Defense, DARPA, and a lot of the national labs we spend a lot of time working with. One of the things that we kind of pride ourselves at Leidos is really our values. We list these kind of here: integrity, innovation, inclusion, agility, collaboration, and commitment. And all of those kind of come down to how we present ourselves within the company and then also externally to all of our customers. One of the things that we really have succeeded with, especially here in Albuquerque, is continuing to be a partner with our customers, which mostly here locally is AFRL. We do some work with NNSA, so the National Nuclear Security Agency here locally, and also with Sandia National Labs. Part of that partnership is really managing how you want to present yourself to the world, and then also making sure that everyone is included in that work. We present a lot of ideas and really try to be a team member, and that really allows us to continue proceeding with contracts. Most of our contracts are 5-year IDIQ. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the term, it's indefinite quantity contracts. And essentially, it just means that we do work for the government on a 5-year basis. And every 5 years, that contract comes up for bid again. And it goes out to anyone who wants to bid on it. And we've been winning those contracts for about 36 to 40 years here locally. Just because of the quality and level of work that we do, and also how much we collaborate with our actual partners. So as I kind of noted earlier, we really provide innovation across a number of different business markets. So civil, health, defense, and intelligence. We recently acquired a company out of Huntsville, Alabama, called Dynetics. Dynetics does a lot of actual build of military equipment. So they're much more oriented to, getting to a program of record and taking a widget and then building however many the military wants of that widget. Most of the Leidos Innovation Center, which is what we represent here in Albuquerque, and then also in a couple of other areas in the United States, are more prototype oriented systems. So one of the reasons why we here recently acquired Dynetics is to be able to take those prototypes that we're very, very skilled at building and crossing different lines of state of the art, and taking those and refining them to the point to where we can, ship out hundreds of them a year, or however many the military needs for putting into the hands of the warfighter. Some of the systems you can see down below. The part of the left is near and dear to my heart because I've been working on it here for the past 2 or 3 years. Is the Thor system. It's a counter UAS high power microwave system. So we use it to knock down incoming drones that may be dangerous for our military bases. We just recently won the follow-on contract for that, which is called Mjolnir, which is one of the things that's eating up actually a lot of my time right now. Right after that is a Starfire Optical Center. That's a system that exists out on base and does a lot of radio tracking. The system right after that is a cartoon of a system called Champ. There's a lot of videos out online about that. That's a counter electronics missile system that we worked on quite some time ago. And then the cartoon after that is the follow-on called Hijinks that we worked on a few years back. As was noted earlier, most of our work here locally is within a few different areas. So high power microwaves, high power lasers, and then space vehicles. So as some of you know, a lot of AFRL has recently transitioned to the Space Force. So a lot of our work is working with the new Space Force to build new systems. Dynetics actually here recently is doing a lot of work for the next lunar lander, for instance. We operate a lot of different systems and really push out some really, really amazing technology. One of the things I really love about the company is
Matt,
once you
another
kind
1 minute.
Oh, okay. Once you got to start.
Sorry, I know this is fun.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear more.
You can kind of go anywhere. We've got a lot of openings here locally. Here's a list of a lot of the engineering positions that we're hunting down right now. One of the other really interesting things about Leidos is we do offer referral bonuses, and you don't have to be an employee to get those. So for any of these positions and a lot of the other positions we have listed online, which you can hit the link down below, there's a $5,000 referral bonus. So if that person gets hired on, stays with the company for I think 30 or 60 days, you get that bonus no matter if you work for us or not. So it's a really good deal. But more importantly, if any of you guys feel that you can pop into any of these positions, definitely get in contact with me. Here's my contact information. I'm always looking for good people to put in these positions. So great. I look forward to talking to you guys in the breakout session. Thanks.
Thanks, Matt. That's really great. You know, as aerospace is also growing in New Mexico, I mean, like crazy, this whole space industry is really growing in New Mexico. So that's another thing that's going to bring a lot of people here. And we have, you know, a lot of science STEM professionals in New Mexico because of the labs. And a lot of the companies that you've seen are sort of offshoots of things that were developed in the lab. So we're incredibly lucky here in New Mexico, and that, you know, it's a nice place to be, and the work is fun. So thanks very much.
Absolutely.
So the last company we have is ECS. So I just found out ECS and Amentum are sort of partners in this subcontracting that's happening with Sandia. And ECS cybersecurity is in data and AI, cloud solutions, enterprise transformation. They have jobs in 17 states, and I think we actually got the 77 jobs at Sandia correct. And they're looking for programmers in C++, C#, Java, other kinds of programming, various types of engineers, techs, and even Windows systems administrators. So Caitlin Talley is here. Caitlin, do you want to tell us more about ECS?
Yeah, let me share my screen here. All right, can everyone see that? The slideshow. Oh, Maggie, you might be on mute. Can everyone?
Yeah, no, I couldn't see it.
Oh, can you all see it now?
No. Did you go to the bottom of the share screen, and then it'll just click on one of the specific thing that you want to share?
I clicked share screen.
There you go. There you go. There you go. You got it.
All right, great. All right, let me pull this up here. All right, hold on one second. Let's pull this over. All right, awesome. Well, thank you guys for putting us into this so short notice. So yes, Nisi and I partnered together on some Sandia National Laboratories work. So that's kind of where our presence specifically is in the Albuquerque area. We are new to the Albuquerque area. About a year now, we've had work with Sandia. We have ECS ourselves. We have about 200 or so employees that work and support Sandia National Laboratories under the Encantado umbrella that Nisi mentioned. So under Encantado is a joint venture. There's ECS, Amentum, like Nisi mentioned, and a couple other companies. And we all support this program in this space because there are so many openings and so many great opportunities at Sandia. There needs to be more than just one company supporting the work. So I want to give you all kind of a corporate overview of ECS. Again, we have about 70 openings in the Albuquerque area for Sandia, but we do a lot of other stuff as well. We do have remote opportunities, which if you go to our careers page, which I will drop in the chat in a little bit, we do have a section that shows all of our remote jobs. Then obviously you can look up all the jobs that are local to Albuquerque. So you guys can see this corporate overview slide, correct? Okay. All right, let me click here. So to give you, go back, give you all an overview of our, powerful solutions for a complex world is something that a blurb that we say here a lot. We are headquartered in Fairfax, Virginia, but we have people in 40 different states across the US, people that travel outside of the US for work. We have about 3,500 employees in total. So we are a larger organization, but not quite as big as Leidos that they mentioned over there. We do a lot in the cybersecurity, cloud, development, enterprise transformation, health IT, science and engineering space. Most of our work for our customers is information technology based. That's no different for Sandia. We do all of their IT work. So anything on Sandia National Laboratories, from the help desk, everything in the middle up to management, we kind of do it all. So our customers, Department of Energy isn't mentioned here, but it is on another slide. These are some of our other customers. Our tech partners, we partner with, AWS, CrowdStrike, Elastic, McAfee, ServiceNow to do some of our work on some of our other programs. We also offer a really great budget when it comes to employees to get certifications. We offer every employee here $5,000 as soon as you're hired to go towards any sort of certification that you want. I'm sorry, after 90 days of employment. Different contract vehicles listed here, but this is just a little overview. This kind of gives an overview of where our programs are and where they sit and where a lot of our employees sit. Obviously, we see Sandia over here, some other work as well. Pictured in this area, we have Sandia in California, we have Sandia in New Mexico. So most of our Sandia employees obviously do sit in New Mexico, but they do have a presence in Livermore, California as well. But we have positions all over the place. And again, you know, a lot of our employees can sit remotely because of the nature of the work. So they are in other places as well. We also hire a lot of veterans, 21% have served, and the average tenure here is over 5 years. And we do hire for a lot of cleared positions. But I will say we do have commercial work as well. We actually have a commercial cybersecurity operations center. Just kind of an anatomy of ECS. We don't need to go too far into this. I know we're kind of strapped on time here, but just a little bit about us here. Go to the next one. A huge list of the different customers that we support. Obviously, Department of Energy is right up here. You know, that is probably the main focus for you all when you are looking for jobs. You'll search, you know, the Albuquerque area and you will see all of our Department of Energy jobs that are in Albuquerque. We do have other Department of Energy programs, obviously connected in some way, but they don't necessarily sit in Albuquerque. Solutions that we provide: cybersecurity, cloud, application services, enterprise transformation. We kind of went over this a little bit already. Some vital programs. Here we go. Sandia National Laboratories, a vital program. Definitely. We do the IT operations for the program, service desk, in-year support, applications development, HPC, computing. Let's go here. A little bit more about us. We have a lot of FBI work as well. Department of Homeland Security is something big for us too. So a lot of interesting high visibility work there. A little bit about our civilian health work. Something really cool is the state of Nebraska COVID-19 support. I thought that was awesome with what was going on recently.
Caitlin, are you almost done? But let's finish in a minute so we can move out to the breakout rooms. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Great. So we have something that's called the Cyber Center of Excellence. We have different groups within the company that focus on certain types of roles and how you can grow within the company within those types of roles. These are our cybersecurity centers of excellence. Here's a little bit more about that. It's just a really big focus for us to grow people's careers. Here's our partners. We went over that a little bit. And then I'm going to just drop in the chat my contact information. I mean, we do have 70 openings in Albuquerque that we can fill. So there's likely something that you might be interested in. And then I'll put my email and you guys can always email me or call me as well.
So Caitlin, let me ask you, is ECS sort of new or has the Sandia contract been going on for quite a while?
So we have support. So a year ago, actually, in a couple of weeks, I'm going out to Albuquerque and celebrating the year event of ECS supporting Sandia National Laboratory. So we are newer in the space for about a year now. So other than that, I mean, in the Albuquerque, we don't have other work, but we are definitely looking to expand and obviously hire for our 70 vacant positions that we have there now.
Okay, and it's a subcontract with Amentum, so that's really great. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. Now, Monica's going to tell everybody how to get into the breakout rooms so that you can talk to individuals from the companies that have presented this morning. Thank you all to the companies for coming and for taking the time to talk to the applicants who are here.
All right, good job. That was a great first session. Like Maggie said, we're going to do breakout rooms. How this works is each company rep will be in their individual room. You as an attendee have the choice of picking which room you'd like to go to. You can also jump in between rooms as well. So you don't have to stay in one, and we recommend that you do visit all of them if you can. So I'm going to open up all the rooms, and if you can see it, you can choose which breakout room you'd like to go to. And then we will be back here at for session 2 at 10:30. Is everyone allowing them to join different rooms?
No, we haven't gotten anything yet, Monica.
Oh, you haven't seen it all? Oh, breakout rooms in progress, unassigned.
Yeah, go to the breakout rooms, and then you can at the bottom of that list, you can join. If you see breakout rooms at the bottom.
Oh, sorry. Where are the breakout rooms? I don't see an option to.
Oh,
At the bottom, you don't see breakout rooms?
No.
okay. So
It looks, there's a list of unassigned people. It's everybody that we have here.
oh,
Maybe they're waiting for you to assign them. Is there a way to do assigned versus unassigned? Open all rooms, that's good.
So I'm going to recreate all rooms here. So just give us one moment, okay?
If you have any questions, put them in the chat. So while Monica's working on things, we can answer your questions.
Unless it is open. So it's not an open. All right. Well, then I guess I might have to assign people to the individual rooms. So please let me join. Please let me know in the chat which room you'd like to join, and then I will send you there. And then company reps, I'll send you to your room now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oops.
Okay. And this is wild. Let us know where you want to go in the breakout room. Is there anybody who we haven't assigned who wrote something? Okay, let's see, Edward.
How do the companies get to their prospective breakout room?
Oh gosh.
Let me put you in there. I just don't see.
I don't see them. Where are the companies?
There. There.
Okay, Ross, let's see.
And then the rest, I'm just gonna randomly assign them.
Yeah, you're there, Ross.
They'll just throw past Laura. Okay, Laura. Charles.
Okay.
Sandia. Oh, we don't have Sandia on this session. They'll be on next.
Sandy is the next session. But you could go to Amentum or ECS because that's they're hiring for Sandia.
I'm just gonna send this to Leadas. If they come back.
Melanie Hubbard, ECS. Valdez, ECS.
Okay, I think we've got everyone in there.
Madeline Leinberger, where should she go?
Madeline would like ECS. I will send her there.
Okay, got it. Hi, Nina.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, great.
So can you move your computer down a little bit? Get your head sort of in the middle of the.
Better?
A little better. Yeah, better.
I can try something else. I just wanted to.
Oh,
Your hair's so long, goodness.
We're
I haven't
still
seen
live on
your hair.
Facebook, FYI.
They're doing breakout rooms now. I'm going to go to one and see what's going on here.
Okay, great.
Yep.
I'll go to Build with Robots.
Liquidity. Michael is over here.
Thanks, Monica, for setting up those breakout rooms. It worked.
Oh, great. And did you hear, because one time I had for the virtual fair, when we did breakout rooms, people heard my voice in all the rooms. So that wasn't an issue?
No, and the chat was isolated to the room.
Okay.
The links in the chat, I think that you did last time, worked fairly well. I'm on a different device now, but it seemed like I could just leave and then go back to the chat and find the new one. So
I know for some reason it's making me assign everyone, which is unfortunate.
yeah, software updates get you.
I
All right,
know.
well, I'll be back at 10:30.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, James. For those of you who are in this room, we're doing breakout sessions right now for a few more minutes. So let me know in the chat if there is a specific room you'd like to go to. We've got Amentum, Build with Robots, Ubiquity, Tricor, Leidos, and ECS. We're just closing out the breakout rooms now from session 1, and then we'll begin session 2. So welcome back, everyone. Oops, I'm sorry. We actually closed the breakout rooms, Shannon. But I would love to get you with Macy Harmer. I'll get you her email address so that you can connect with her. All right, the breakout rooms are just closing now.
For a technologist position.
Oh. All right, I'm pretty sure everyone is back now. Welcome back for session 2. I hope the breakout rooms were helpful. And I will provide an email of everyone's presentations from session 1 and from session 2. I'll send post-event, so you'll have that information and you'll have their contact information. You can reach out to them individually as well. For the second session, I have the agenda up here. It'll be from 10:30 to 11:30. We'll have employers presenting on their positions. And then we will do again the breakout room from 11:30 to 12. Now, keep in mind there's a bonus session, a town hall from 12 to 1. And this is where we really want the job seekers and the STEM professionals to be on the call, openly discussing the challenges that you're facing in the job market. We want to hear from you. We want to understand your concerns. This is the best way for us to be able to help you in this journey. So please stay on for that. There will be some exciting things on that as well. So please stay on for that. So for session 2, I'm going to pass it over to our moderator, Nina. Nina, take it away.
Hi, can I get a thumbs up? Can everybody hear me? All right, great. Yeah, it's always embarrassing when you're talking to yourself on mute. So thank you so much, Monica and Maggie, for the invitation today. And thank you for the companies and for the other participants who are joining us. And so before we kick it off with our companies, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Nina Senyutovich. I'm a cell and molecular biologist, and I'm a boomerang. So I was born and raised in Santa Fe, and I went to school in Las Cruces at New Mexico State University. And then I got a graduate degree and a postdoc in Pennsylvania, and I lived in Pennsylvania for over 10 years. And a couple of years ago, my husband and I kind of reevaluated our lives and decided that we didn't want to be so far away from our families. So, we uprooted our really fulfilling careers and life in Pittsburgh and decided to move back to the Southwest. And I was really excited that he actually got the first job offer in Santa Fe. And so as wonderful and fulfilling as it was for us to be back in New Mexico, it was also frankly a surprise because we were not sure, kind of what opportunities there would be. And I felt at times like a fish out of water because my network and my contacts were all predominantly on the East Coast. And I had been gone for so long, I was really just bewildered. And I was lucky enough to meet Maggie through a friend of mine who had finished up her postdoc at UNM. And it was a wonderful kind of serendipitous occasion because I was interested in learning a lot about the science and technology that was happening in New Mexico, not only the biology, but other areas of technology. And it was a wonderful fit for me to be able to sort of plug in to STEM Boomerang and also gain this sort of ability to get my foot in the door, because it can be a very frustrating experience to know that there's really great companies that you're a good fit for and you're excited about, but to sort of have this radio silence can be a little bit unnerving. So I guess with that, if anyone has questions about my employer right now is Sartorius, and I will say that me going through STEM Boomerang was a really valuable experience, because I actually had a variety of really wonderful interviews and a couple of great job offers. And I ended up taking one with a company known as Sartorius, which is has a location here in Albuquerque. Today, I'm here on my personal time representing myself. But if you have questions about my transition, or you want to learn a little bit about Sartorius, I'm happy to be a resource for that. So in a couple of minutes, I'll put a link here to my LinkedIn profile. That's probably the easiest way to find me. And just want to kick it off today with our really exciting lineup of science and technology companies. So if I'm not mistaken, we are starting off today with NTX Bio. I believe we'll be joined by two staff, Connie, if I'm not mistaken, and Brian. So with
Scott.
that,
It'll be Connie and Scott, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Connie and Scott, thank you so much for joining us, and please take it away.
Okay, well, thank you very much for having us here today. I'm just going to go ahead and share a slide deck. I don't know if you wanted to start out with anything, Connie, or if you just want me to take it away.
I would say run with it.
Okie dokie then. So again, my name is Scott Henley. I'm with Nature's Toolbox, or NTX. I've been with Nature's Toolbox for not too long now, about 6 months. And before that, I was a staff scientist at Los Alamos National Lab for about 16 years before I joined Nature's Toolbox. And let me tell you a little bit about it and why it's so exciting. We're a bioinformatics and biomanufacturing company that basically devises new methods to produce things for therapeutics, and using cell-free techniques that are proprietary and very interesting. We were established in 2015, and we've been developing proprietary flow bioreactors, the enzymes and reagents for efficient, scalable, and end-to-end production of biologics, vaccines, and therapeutics. And we're also involved in computational drug discovery and structural biology for therapeutic target discovery. And we're located down here in Rio Rancho. And we've got a brand new facility here that is expanding as we grow. We currently have about 25 people and are looking for new additions to the scientific team here. We recently were awarded grants from both DARPA to develop our cell-free technology for protein production, as well as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to develop new low-cost methodologies to produce mRNA vaccines and therapeutics. And we've also been acknowledged by New Mexico State as well. We're currently looking for people who can fit into a variety of different efforts that we have going on down here. One of which is working on the mRNA production side. And you'd be actively contributing to the development, establishment, and optimization of the mRNA production pipeline that we're putting together. And the focus would be on biomanufacturing and the purification of modified nucleosides and nucleotides as the building blocks for mRNAs, as well as evaluating how well they work in our production pipeline. And we're also looking for research scientists that are responsible for the background cloning and protein expression and purification, and also working on characterization of the proteins as well for cell-free production, and generating all of the analysis, interpretation, and documentations, as well as presenting the data. We also need structural biologists. We have a brand new cryo-EM facility that is very exciting. It's capable of giving atomic resolution structures down to around 2 angstroms. And we need somebody with a background in any of the structural imaging techniques, electron microscopy, cryo-EM, NMR, or X-ray crystallography. We also need software developers for visualization to create basically the codes necessary for virtual reality visualization at atomic resolution. And we need quality control technicians as well, folks that will support us by doing analysis of the production pipelines that we are developing. And then we need laboratory technicians that have more generalized responsibilities, but we do require a background in biology, molecular biology or biochemistry, and we have opportunities for on-the-job training to expand your professional capacities. And you can find out more about these roles by going to our website, ntxbio.com. And so that's all I have. If anybody has any questions, me and Connie can possibly answer them.
Thank you so much, Scott. I don't see any questions so far. Connie, is there anything you'd like to add today?
I think Scott put it a lot better than what I could have said. So, but we're looking forward to potentially talking to people in the breakout room after this.
So I'll say that Monica and I have known NTX since it started with Alex and Michael and everybody. And we have quite a few people who are at NTX who have come through STEM Boomerang. So it's it's been a great place for people to work, and the technology is really exciting. And so I think it's you should take a look at it.
Yes, I second that. So before we go to our next presentation, I want to just do one more poll. We want to hear more about maybe some of the challenges. What is the biggest challenge in finding a new job? I'd love to kind of hear from you on this. We'll leave it open for just a few, just like 20 seconds here. Or longer, maybe these are long to read. A few more people, and we'll go ahead and close it out here in the next few seconds. All right, great. Thank you for that. We're going to share these poll results in the town hall that'll be between 12 and 1. So please stay on. We would love to see you on that. It's very informal, and we want to hear from you. Nina, back to you.
Thanks so much, Monica. So if you have any further questions about NTX Bio, I'm sure that we can take a few minutes if something pops into your brain before the breakout session. Our next company is RS21, and I don't know the names of who's representing that company today, but I would like it to pass it over to you. Thanks so much.
Hi there, I'm Jeff Mayholtz. I'm the technical recruiter at RS21. Forgive my voice, I'm battling a sinus infection right now. But very happy to be here. I do have a presentation put together. I don't have anyone else with me from the company today, but would love to get started here. Can everyone see the presentation?
We can see that and we hear you great. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Thank you. So thanks for having me over today. I really appreciate it. It's been fantastic learning about all these companies. As you may or may not know, RS21 is a data science company that uses artificial intelligence, designs, and modern software development methods to empower organizations to make data-driven decisions that can impact the world. We believe that data reveals hidden patterns and possibilities. With better data, the right tools to understand it, we can discover new and creative solutions for the world's most complex problems. Here at RS21, every day we see people and organizations struggling with overly complicated and expensive software, low quality data, outdated methods of communication, And now more and more people have, greater information at their fingertips than ever before, but most are unable to harness it, for better decision making. We are a diverse group of dreamers, disruptors, and doers at RS21. We operate with integrated teams and resources at all of our projects. I'd like to kind of give you an overview of what some of our current capabilities are. Within our data science team right now, we're doing a lot of deep learning, unsupervised and supervised learning, a lot of ML ops and ethical AI and ML. In our data engineering teams, doing a lot of data warehousing, data integration, data strategy and modeling, and a lot of data management. In our design, doing a lot of product strategy, user experience design, which is your UX, and user interface design, your UI, as well as creating a lot of data and viz information dashboards. And in our development teams right now, we do a lot of user interface development, API, service layer development, infrastructure and cloud architecture, and DevOps testing.
Jeff, your slides aren't changing.
Oh, they're
your
not
slides
changing?
aren't changing. Yeah, go down to I don't know why you looks like you've clicked on the right part. I don't know why it's not turning into a presentation view.
Yeah, weird.
I click on the bottom right again and see if you can get it into that.
So weird. Huh.
You can just click on the ones on the left and it'll show up on the larger picture.
Let's see here. And that didn't change, huh?
Everyone's so tech savvy in the chat. It's like more than I know about Zoom, but someone had mentioned if you're using multiple screens, it can impact your display.
And I do have multiple screens. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I don't know.
You've got it onto the wrong screen, I guess. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really strange. Yeah, because it's I have multiple screens at home.
But if you click on the left hand, will it go into the next? Why don't you go into presentation view, go up high and go into presentation view? We should be able to see it, but you won't be able to see us.
Where's that at?
View.
Sorry, guys.
Go into view, see if you can get presentation view there. I don't know.
I don't see I'm sorry, I just don't see the view. I see.
It's okay. Just keep talking. We'll listen.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll just keep talking. I don't know. I'll get out of it.
There you go.
Maybe I'll just do it this way.
Yep.
So where was I at? I think, it just went back. So, well, let me try to figure out where I was at now. Sorry, guys. I think that what I was talking about is that RS21 is, proud to be a values-based organization. Our values guide everything that we do. And you'll see our values listed on our website. There are 9 core values that we work through. And we believe that diversity makes us stronger. We get a lot of input and counsel from our 3 employee-led working groups, the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Working Group, the Values Working Group, and our Employee Wellbeing Working Group. So we really use those working groups to endeavor to create an exclusive and equitable environment that reflects the communities that we do serve. We've done some specific projects here in the state of New Mexico. We work with a lot of state and local agencies. Here in New Mexico, for example, early childhood development, we help them harness various data sources and figure out ways to ingest and automate that data. For UNM we're building them a clinical research platform and data warehouse where the storage of clinical research data, patient data, doctor treatment plans are all housed in one location. We worked with the Urban Health Vulnerability Index. They wanted an easy way to visualize a lot of their data through their dashboards. So basically, we're helping our clients achieve programmatic goals, improve efficiencies, reduce cost, and help maximize productivity. Currently, we're providing solutions for healthcare, FedGov, state and local agencies, research and development, national labs, and space and satellite areas. RS21 itself has created over 100 big data interactive platforms to really address and approach complex, multifaceted human challenges. Some of the things that we've done recently were develop a microgrid sitting tool to encourage the adoption of sustainable energy systems. We did some visualization work on interdependencies in critical infrastructure to support planning and resilience in the event of unexpected hazards. We've done some predictive and visualization flood impact on communities to help citizens and businesses safe from flood events. And then a lot of people have seen our COVID-19 relief fund spending dashboards, as well as our COVID-19 outbreak assessments based on health, age, and socioeconomics. I had a cool video for you guys to watch, but that's not going to happen. It doesn't think like so. Right now, I am searching. Open positions for me right now are in our data engineering, data design, and project management environments. So database administrator, cloud solutions architect, data engineers, product designers. Those are my main focuses right now. But I typically also am looking for data scientists, developers, various types of project managers, and cloud solutions architects. And then we also have internships available. So thank you guys for bearing with me. Sorry, multiple monitors are a bad thing.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. We always have hiccups. You just hope it's not you, but sometimes it happens. Thank you. I think you picked it up nicely. I did have one question. So I would imagine most of the people, the ideal candidate for you are people who have backgrounds in computer science or engineering. Is that correct?
Computer science, engineering, math. Those are all areas that we look at.
Got it. Great. Thank you so much. So let me see here. Oh, great. We see your job openings now. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for bearing with us. I'd like to introduce our next company. It's Torque Robotics, and I believe we'll be joined by Austin. If that is the incorrect name, then please holler and take it away.
No, that is correct. My name is Austin. Thanks for having us. Let me share my screen here.
Austin, your screen is not an 80-degree New Mexico day.
Yeah, this is all right. So if I change my slides, can you see it?
Yes, we hear you and we see your slides changing. Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks for having us again. My name is Austin Prosser. I am a university recruiter here at Torque. I'm in charge of the co-ops, internships, and entry-level jobs. And this is my information. So a little bit about Torque. Move this. We are Torque Robotics. We're a software company working with autonomous solutions and systems, specifically with the semi-trucking industry. We were founded in Blacksburg, Virginia in 2005 by a group of Virginia Tech students. And we have different locations across the United States and globally, which I'll get to a little bit later. So the ideal twerker is someone that's hungry, humble, and people smart. Hungry meaning that you're driven, ready to work with cutting edge technology and progress us further into the future. Humble meaning that you use we did this, our team did that, as opposed to I did this, I did that. And people smart, meaning that you can work in teams and have a positive communication within team members, as well as other teams across the board. We consider ourselves to be a big team of teams. Our mission is saving lives. How do we do that? By significantly reducing the number of injuries and fatalities on our roads, as well as efficiently transporting goods and accessible mobility across the United States. With our virtual driver, which is the software that we create, ideally we are looking to get the driver out of the seat. So our software will continuously be thinking 1,000 seconds per or 1,000 times per second. So, you know, it's not like the driver who may be distracted or may get a little bit tired. Our software is consistently thinking at 1,000 times per second. A little bit about our past. We've worked in the mining industry, construction, military, and like I mentioned, now we're focused on the semi-truck industry. We've worked, as you can see in the top left picture, with some big construction vehicles that can transport, you know, huge amounts of dirt autonomously to create a little bit safer environment of a workspace, as well as the military working with IED detections. Obviously, we wouldn't want someone in the vehicle if they detected a bomb or, you know, rolled over a bomb for obvious reasons. So we've worked with the military, and then we've also worked with researching, creating maps, that sort of thing. We a couple years ago have had a demo in Las Vegas. This is our car right here. The circle up top spins really fast and sends out radars and sensors, LiDAR, all that sort of thing. And we did this in Las Vegas, where there's a lot of foot traffic as well as car traffic. So it was a successful outcome. And we've recently had demos in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where investors came in and we basically took them on a test run in our 18-wheelers. And Forbes recently wrote an article about us, which is a big deal to us, about our new software that's up and coming. So that was exciting. Our locations, we're headquartered in Blacksburg, which is where we do a lot of software development as well as on-road testing. We just recently opened a branch in Austin, Texas, which is going to be mostly software development and some testing. And then in Albuquerque in New Mexico and Madras, Oregon, we have testing sites there. There is some software development there. However, it is mostly on-road testing. Every day we're on the highways testing, gathering data, and sifting through that to always improve our software. So kind of how it works. First, we give the simulation our stack. They test it, make sure it's good to go on the road. Then we go to the public road testing, where we will implement our algorithms and our software onto the truck and test something, for example, like a courtesy lane switch. If someone has a flat tire on the side of the road, our truck will courteously get over into the left lane and then come back over. That's just one of the examples. So we'll go to the public road and test that. Then it'll go to our closed course testing, which is a road where we can kind of put certain weather conditions on the road, like a wet road, or make it a little bit windy or something like that. And that's actually in Blacksburg, Virginia. And then once that's done, we gather all of the data from that, sift through it, and then it's back to the start of simulation, then back to the public road testing, and then to the closed course testing. So a little bit about our teams. We have a lot of different teams who do different things. Like I said, we consider ourselves one big team consistent of different teams. We have the testing team, machine learning, infrastructure and tools, mapping and localization, behaviors and planning, and then perception. And each of them kind of have their own niche that come together to create our virtual driver software. I would recommend that you follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, all that good stuff. I'm going to go to our website real quick. This is our website, torque.ai. As you can see, we're taking transportation to the next level. Some of the positions that we are looking for, if you click this big red apply button, behaviors, as I mentioned before, and path planning, data, lots of computer engineering and computer science openings with some of our sensors like LiDAR, radar, computer vision, cameras. This is our testing. And I forgot to mention earlier, but we also have a branch in Germany, Stuttgart, which is kind of new and upcoming. And we are really excited to have that branch be a part of our organization. And scrolling down a little bit, you can see we have tons of openings. And yeah. I also forgot to mention earlier that we were recently acquired by Daimler. They bought a majority stake in us. Their kind of baby, if you will, is Freightliner truck, which is the one that's right behind me in the picture. You probably see them on the roads all the time. So we have a very good partnership with them. It's very in-depth partnership. And they provide us with the hardware, like the 18-wheeler and the chassis, and we implement our software onto the truck to basically make it self-driving. So again, thank you for listening to my presentation, and thank you for having us, Nina and Monica.
And also,
Thank you so much.
Really cool facility. I don't know if they mentioned right off of the freeway on Lomas. It used to be the old parking lot at UNM. So many of you that have parked there at one point know. So they do all their testing right there. Pretty cool.
Yep.
Thank you so much. That was really interesting. Austin, I have a question for you. So why Albuquerque? Why is Albuquerque a site for a company that got started in Virginia?
Yeah, so we chose Albuquerque because of the weather conditions mainly. It's kind of in the terrain. I know you guys don't get a lot of snow there from what I understand. I've never been there, but that's my understanding. So, you know, with the inclement weather, that's no good for developing a software for, you know, a self-driving 18-wheeler driving down the road. So obviously we're working on that, but we chose Albuquerque because of those reasons, as well as its location to Daimler, which is in Portland, Oregon. It's on the West Coast, but they have lots of inclement weather up there, so we went a little bit south. And that also plays into our Austin, Texas location, why we chose there, because we have our trucks drive from Albuquerque to Austin, Texas autonomously. So it's just an all around kind of good idea of why we went down there.
So I have a question. Austin, do you ever put drivers in when you get to a city? I mean, it seems like having a driver in the city would be a good idea.
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's three parts to the trucking industry. Or the actual transport. The first part is getting the truck from in the city to a hub. And then our truck will take over from hub to another hub, which is part 2. And then part 3 is from hub to distributor, which is in city or in an urban area. So ours is where we come into play is in that middle range where we actually, drive it across country or the length. And then we will have CDL Class A drivers, actually driving it in the urban areas, in the first part and in the last part of it. So we are hub to hub, for example, like distributor to warehouse or warehouse to distributor. But good question.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Well, let me give everybody a minute just in case someone wanted to jump in. I don't see anything in the chat right now, but if anybody has further questions for Austin, this would be a great time to chime in. Okay, well, thanks so much, Austin, and I appreciate your presentation today. Great. All right. So our next company is OpenEye Scientific, and Jesper. Hi, I see you there. So take it away. Thank you for joining us.
Sure. Thanks for inviting us and having us. Yoshi's here with me as well. So if you have questions, and she'll be in the breakout sessions as well, I think. So I'll just give a couple slides on OpenEye. We're I want to say a small company, but that's probably not true anymore. But we have been, we were founded in Santa Fe in 1997. So we've been here for some 25 years now. We are completely owned by our employees, former employees. We work mainly in drug discovery. So we write software for the pharmaceutical industry. And we, a few years ago, launched a cloud native platform to do computational chemistry calculations. So these are just kind of some highlighting facts. We have 4 sites, I guess, in the US. Santa Fe is our headquarters. It's where probably 90% of our employees live and work. And then we have smaller offices in Boston, Cologne, and Tokyo, just to be closer to our customer base. But yeah, we are our customers are top pharma, 19 of the top 20, a lot of startups and biotechs, a lot of academic labs, government, NGOs, et cetera. So what OpenEye really focuses on is discovery of small molecules to cure diseases. And so this is usually a 10-year time frame. After you start a project in a pharmaceutical company, say we want to try to cure this disease. If it works, it's been somewhere between 10 to 15 years until it actually gets on the market. And so one of sort of our objectives is to shorten that time frame and not just shorten it, but also make the drugs coming out at the other end better. It better means a lot of different things necessarily, but that really is one of the things that we can do now with the cloud platform. We can really do some things at crazy scale. And I'll just show a couple slides. So this is more sort of like a little bit of graphical of what we do with our user interface. But one of the interesting parts is you can actually now, if you know your drug target, you have a structure of it, you can actually search with Orion, virtual or actual molecules in the billions and say, hey, I have 8 billion virtual molecules, and I, within a couple of days, I can know whether one of those potentially binds my target. And then I have ideas that I can go back to the lab. I can buy that, test it in the lab, and then I can go work off of that idea, and that accelerates my ability to get a drug on the market. But screening 8 billion molecules is sort of, when you think about it, slightly insane. And doing it in 3D is even more insane, because we usually do something like 10 to 100 3D conformers of each. So that number, once you add the zeros, this becomes, I think a couple of years ago, this would have been untenable. And now it seems like it's an everyday tool being used in pharma. So that's really just one of the things. The other thing we do with Orion is we've added a lot of open source and third-party packages, so you can run molecular dynamics, You could do quantum calculations, clustering, and if you have large types of data. And again, it's all Python, so you can add your own. And that's, one of the really interesting parts about writing a platform product like this. So that's about what I want to say about OpenEye. I'm happy to answer questions as well. What I wanted to just share is our careers page. So it's iceopen.com/careers. There's a little blurb here about who we are and what we do. There's a short list of open positions here, but if you click the link at the bottom here, it'll take you to LinkedIn, which we use for our sort of their talent hub for applications, and you can see a longer list over here. And honestly, even when some of these are filled, we'll keep hiring for these positions. So these are not one-offs. I joined 4 years ago when we were maybe 45 people, and we're at some 120 now, and we're not, I don't see this slowing down anytime soon. The cloud product has really found a huge customer base, an expanding customer base, and it's in some ways putting pressure on all of us to do more. And so that's why we're hiring and to be able to really keep up with this very exciting interest from customers. But yeah, I think that's where I'll end it, and I'll take some questions if you guys have them.
Thank you so much, Jesper. I had a question. So what's different about what you offer with your Orion package versus what some of your competitors offer? So why do so many people use your products?
That's a good question. It's primarily the fact that computational chemistry historically has always been sort of burst computing. You do compute for a month, and then you spend the next 3 analyzing it. And so a lot of companies, they built their own data centers and warehouses, and then IT gets mad because, hey, we just spent $1 million on computers and you used them for a month and now they're sitting idle. And so there's this aspect of moving to the cloud where you're paying for use. The other thing is the burst computing ability actually lets us, it used to take a month, but now we're just giving you more resources today, which means you can get the calculations done in 2 days. And so there's a lot of problems we've reformulated. So one of the really successful parts of this has been small molecule crystal structure prediction, which is how you pack a molecule into a crystal so it can be delivered as a drug. And other companies take about, the method they use take about a month to a month and a half of continual calculation. We can do that in about 2 days. And part of that is Amazon. We say, hey, we want 40,000 machines. Oh, sure, here they are, right? Amazon just lets us have machines at a very reasonable cost today, right now. And then when you're done with your calculation, you give them back. So that it really has changed the game of the type of calculations you can do. So there are certain things we'll do now that we never used to do, like the whole trying to dock 8 billion molecules into a protein active site. Was just unheard of, or would have taken a year, and now we can do it in less than 24 hours.
Wow. And so a quick follow-up to that. So if you have this 8 billion library search, that is not necessarily 8 billion molecules that have been physically synthesized, correct? Some of those are probably theoretical, or?
Some of them are. So some of the vendors we work with, we don't do any of these compounds ourselves, clearly, but we take them from chemistry vendors. So Enamine in the Ukraine is a huge vendor of ours, or collaborator of ours. And they don't, I think what we've heard from our customers is that they deliver about 85% of what you order. So they're theoretical, but probable, or likely, if you can call it that. And so no one actually goes and makes them ahead of time, but if you want them, they can make them. And the delivery estimates are about 85% of what you order, you get in, which is quite amazing when you think about it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty high, considering that synthesis is tricky, right?
Yes, it is. And so some of that is clearly automation and some other things that they've managed to do, but they have an impressive rate of, we'd say we can make this and we can make it.
Great. So I have a question. I have a question about your clustering. So this density-based clustering it's unsupervised and it's stable to noise.
That is really application specific and data specific, I should say. We don't really write clustering algorithms ourselves. We try to use as many, so this is one of those where we use third-party tools. We have some clustering algorithms internally, but we use HDB scan, we use other third-party tools from scikit-learn and things like that. They're so easy to plug and play into Orion, and as long as it's an open source license and we can use it, then it's really easy for us to do. But it really comes down to what type of data you have, whether you can do some of those things.
Okay, but is it unsupervised? It's not like k-means or SOMs or?
We do k-means sometimes too. Part of that has to do with when you're trying to fill a 96 well plate, you want 96 answers. And so there's other ways to do that, right? So we do all types of clustering. I think actually k-means is the one we hadn't done for a long time until a customer was like, I'm trying to fill this plate. Can you please give me k-means?
Oh my gosh.
So, but no, we use a variety of different clustering methods, and most of it is not. We definitely k-means was last on our list as well.
I don't know if it's open source, but I used to work with VX Insight at Sandia, and I think it's possibly open source now. But they used force-directed placement, and it's absolutely unbelievable method that they had worked out to allow things to move over barriers and stuff to cluster. It was very powerful.
Very interesting. Okay.
Thank you so much. Would anybody like to jump in with a question? Okay, well, thank you so much, Jesper. That was quite astounding to hear those numbers today. Thank you for your time and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So I would like to now introduce Sandia National Labs. This is, I understand, our last employer in the lineup today, and we are joined by Nicole. Nicole, is there anyone else with you today?
No, just me.
Great. Just checking. Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah.
And take it away.
Hi, everyone. How's it going? Hopefully you can hear me pretty well because I am outside, but I think I'm pretty well, like blocked from crazy wind. So my name is Nicole Strew. I am a recruiting specialist for Sandia Labs. I focus primarily on campus recruiting, but as part of our New Mexico work, we work with STEM Boomerang as well. So, I know a lot of people already know about Sandia, who we are, things like that. So I'm not going to get real deep into all that. I'm just going to go through a couple slides, but really just wanted to be able to, kind of open the floor for questions and show you guys a little bit about the makeup of our workforce and things like that. So I am going to go ahead and share 1 second. I have too many windows open. Sorry. Okay. And present. Okay, so as it gets going here, we have 5 main mission areas that we use to complete our national security mission from Sandia. And as most people know, right, we started as essentially the engineering division of the Manhattan Project, and then over the years have become the fully fledged, national security engineering lab in our own right. So we work in 5 primary sort of core areas: global security, just looking at different strategic threats like internal and external to the U.S. We work on nuclear deterrence. That is a huge piece of what we do, huge chunk of our work, to really ensure that the U.S. arsenal is safe and secure. Then national security programs, right, looking at different like intelligence and data analytics and things like that to help to strengthen us against defenders, strengthen our defenses against external actors. Energy and homeland security, looking at just our critical infrastructure, right? Energy wasn't something that I immediately thought of when I first started at Sandia, like, oh, that's a national security concern. But the way that everything is reliant upon the grid now, it truly is. And it has become a big part of the work that we're doing as well. And then, of course, just advanced science and technology, like really back to basics, fundamental research in the sciences, really looking 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, how technology is going to change, how that may help us and how it also may be used against us so we can protect ourselves. So looking at our workforce in general, right, we've got about 15,000 employees at this point. New Mexico is obviously the largest site. We do have a smaller site in California as well, in the Livermore area, but about 13,000 or so people are here in New Mexico. And you can see obviously breakdown, right? A lot of R&D staff, a lot of technical staff, all of that. And when you look at the actual R&D breakdown of our staff, this is what you'll see. And to be clear, the ones that are over here, the disciplines there, that's not necessarily like the degree they came from. What that is our definition of their job title. And so I have a lot of like aerospace engineers who end up in like the mechanical engineering title, for example, or I have one aerospace engineer who is a human factors engineer now. So she is in the other engineering, right? So these are based on our titles. Now you can see on the right-hand side here that the breakdown of our degrees, right? We're a little bit different than a lot of national labs, which tend to lean heavier in the PhD space, but we are actually heaviest when it comes to masters. We still hire tons of PhDs, as you can see, but we do have a little bit of a different distribution than most national labs. And then of course, business and operations staff, not as relevant for our STEM folks, right? But I'm in that little 5% of HR, right? That's me. So the values that we, serve at Sandia are really important to us. And, even every year as you like work on your results and things like that, that you're reporting up, we have to talk through how we in our role have worked and met these values. So serving the nation, respecting each other, acting with integrity, delivering with excellence, and then teaming for great results are all very, very important pieces of how we do our work. And the way that we interact with each other and the way that we team and things like that. We are a very collaborative environment. Very rarely is a project truly solo. It's very interdisciplinary, very collaborative, really cross-functional type work. And so even though we have departments that like kind of focus on certain things, right, there's still a ton of like sharing within other departments. Like you may matrix to another organization to work with some of their projects that they're really kind of owning, but maybe your expertise really fits well with that. So with Sandia in general, obviously we give back a lot to the community. Part of how we've got in touch with Maggie and everything, right, because we do this community work within New Mexico and of course with Livermore as well. But there really is just a lot of emphasis around continuing to improve the communities that we live in and work in as well. So that was all I really wanted to share as far as that. But let me reshare really quick because I want to show you a couple of things on our careers site as well. So let me share that screen. Because I'm only on my laptop today, sorry, otherwise it would have been much easier, but because I am on campus at UNM today, it's a little bit different. Okay. Screen share. Okay. Perfect. Can you guys all see that? Okay, wonderful. So within our career site, there's a couple things that I just want to point out as you're looking for positions, because we are consistently going to have like 300 plus openings on our site. And so there's just always things that you can apply to at Sandia. Can you guys hear that in the background, the fire truck? Hopefully it's not too loud.
We can still hear you. We can still hear you.
Okay, great. Usually my headphones do a pretty good job of that because like they can block out my screaming children. So like, it's usually pretty good. Yeah, so we've got a lot of different information here depending on what you're looking for, right? Because we hire students, we hire postdocs, we hire, full-time, obviously. We also have a job designation called LTE, which is a limited term employee. And that can be scary when you don't know what it is. And so I just do want to put it out there. The LTE positions are still it's full Sandians, truly. They can last up to 7 years, and very rarely do those people not get converted into full-time staff if that's what they want down the line. However, it's just an easier way for us to be able to get the right funding to start people generally. And so we have seen a bit of an uptick in our LTE postings, but you really do have all of the same benefits as a regular, Sandian. I think the only benefit that is not offered to our LTE staff is tuition assistance. That is the only program that is not part of the benefits package for LTE. So just something to be aware of as you're looking at the site, because I know limited term can be a little bit, I don't know if I want that, but it still is a really great way to get started with the labs. So a couple different things. If you look at the careers by discipline, for example, you can go and pick whatever discipline you're most interested in, right? And it'll give you some information about some of the, skill sets we look for in that area. It'll have a wiki of, recent openings. There's usually more than what's just on the wiki, but this is the most recent ones that have popped up. And it'll just give you a little bit of information about what we do within this discipline at Sandia, right? So it's a great way to get at least a very high level insight. And that is the most interesting recruiting challenge for a place like Sandia, right? Is you're going to do really cool stuff. We just can't tell you what until probably you've already worked for us for like 6 months and get your clearance finally. And so it's a really interesting balance to be able to tell you very high level what we do without getting too granular. However, because of that, I would caution everyone as they're looking at our job openings to keep an open mind, because our openings can be kind of vague, because that's just kind of how it has to be, right? With security clearance work, which 99.9% of our jobs require security clearance, which does require citizenship. So just something to be aware of as well. Now, if you get into a position and you're like, this is not quite the work that I want to be doing, there is so much room for internal mobility. So definitely something to just, like I said, keep an open mind about the postings. If it makes sense to you, you're like, yeah, I think that sounds like something I could do. I'm interested, apply to it. And then if you get in and it really isn't not the right fit, we will absolutely work with you. And there are ways to, kind of find what the right project load is for you. And then on the hiring process, one thing I definitely want to point out is this first bullet here, setting up these automatic email notifications. It's really, really important if you're interested in Sandia to do that, because of the fact that we have so many postings. And so when you go to our careers tool, kind of play with the search functionality, things like that, and then you save the search, it'll just email you whenever new postings come up that meet your individual search criteria. So I absolutely would recommend setting up at least one saved search, if not a couple, that makes sense for you. But just kind of play with it and see what brings up the right types of jobs, and then save it. And then, obviously we've got some great information about benefits on here, some great IND stuff that you can look at here as well. But ultimately you want to visit the careers tool. And I definitely recommend if there's more than one position you're interested in, apply to more than one. That is absolutely acceptable. Don't like throw spaghetti at the wall just to see what sticks. However, if there's more than one position that's relevant, get in more than one position. That's totally great. So those are the main things that I wanted to cover for y'all in this group session. I'm also going to put a link in the chat here that allows you to join our talent database. That does not, it is not an application for a job. It is just for you to join our talent database, where we do some, we'll do outreach from that. We'll send out information at times about different job postings that are, kind of niche and things like that. So it's a great way to keep in touch with us on the careers front without actually applying to a job quite yet, because you got to kind of do some digging to see which ones are right for you. So I'm going to pull that up and put that in the chat. But yeah, that is the bulk of the information I wanted to go with. So if anyone has questions.
So Nicole, I have a question. Oh, sorry, Nina.
No, go ahead.
Okay. One of the things is, so for people on here, if you're looking for a postdoc, for example, that is the way the lab, Sandia and Lanel, like to hire PhDs. And it has to be within 5 years of your getting a degree. And so anyway, that's one thing. Nicole, how are you working about people hearing that you've gotten their resumes and that a human being actually looked at it? That's always been a challenge. I mean, I know the labs are huge and you've got all these jobs and stuff, but we've held a few hands while all the process takes so long, even though, it looks like they're going to get it. And, but then they're like, I don't know if I'm going to have a job. And anyway, that's what happens on the outside.
Yeah, it can absolutely be a lengthy process, and it's highly dependent upon the manager who's doing the hiring, which is not an answer as a recruiter that I like to give, but it is the truth. And so, each manager has a lot of control over their individual openings. And so it is very dependent how quickly it's going to move based on how quickly the manager is motivated to close the rec. And so it can be lengthy, and there is a lot, additional background checks and things that have to happen with us. And so the process is more drawn out than other places, I'd say. It is not always as communicative as I would like it to be either through the process, but there are ways, you know, if you're working, because the thing that with our positions, your initial resume review is done by a human being. Every single resume is reviewed by a human. And so that is how it gets routed to the managers. And then from there, the managers kind of have to take the ownership to get things moving. And so, you know, if you have contact with like a staffing partner, or again, I'm happy to kind of help close the gap as well where I can. We can at least give you an update on where things sit in the system, like in the process, right? Like, are they interviewing yet or not? Because yeah, just some managers are far more communicative than others. Still something we're working to be a little bit more consistent about, but we're definitely not quite there. And I'm going to put my email in the chat so you guys have that as well.
Cool. So I have a question. How do you start a job and have so many months where you don't exactly know what you're going to be doing? What do people do?
Yeah. So they will carve out uncleared pieces of the work for people to work on as they wait for their clearance to process. And there is some uncleared workspace, so you don't always have to be in a situation where you're like being literally escorted to the bathroom when you're in secure workspace. That does happen. But we have some very specific unsecured workplace where people can be to work as they wait for that clearance to process. And so they'll carve out things that, you know, pieces of the project that don't require a clearance as people get going.
Okay, thanks. That makes sense.
I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
I'm just speaking of clearances. What if someone was to have something like a top secret DoD clearance? Sandy is a DOE. Timeline for getting that transferred over, is there issues? I mean, it's not like restarting the whole SF-86 process, I would hope. I would hope a few buttons get pushed and maybe a re-background check, or kind of like a, you know, like a renewal, like you do every 5 years or what have you, something like that. But then you transferred straight over from DoD to DOE. Is that the way it works, kind of?
Yeah, so it can take a little bit of time, but there is reciprocity between like the DoD and the DOE security clearances. So it is a much easier process than just getting a new clearance. It can still take a month or two, I think, but it depends on how much in advance of starting you get the process, you know, kind of initiated and things like that. But there is reciprocity there that makes it much easier.
That's all I.
Thank you. Okay, so any other questions today for Nicole? I don't see any questions in the chat right now. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I'm going to hand it over to Maggie and Monica at this point. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us for our second session, and for the companies that were able to come today and tell us about their exciting work. So, all right, ladies, thank you.
All right.